January rolls around, you only have like an hour to half, maybe 2 hours or whatever between like 10:30 and 1:30 of light during the day, But you get used to it, you get accustomed to it. But like in the summertime, it's really dangerous because you can be just hanging out with your friends, having a good time, and all oh my goodness, it's 2 a.m. You just don't even realize, and it keep you vibrant and going.
Wow. That's just too deep. Now, we have a very active spoken word community here in Durham, North Carolina, and actually up and down the East Coast. Of course, the New Eurekan poets are up in New York, and there's poets down in Florida. But what is the spoken word community like in Alaska? Because, like I said, it's a national trend where we're getting more and more people that are doing spoken word, including some of the competitive spoken word. Like we have our Jambalaya Soul Slam, which picks our team that then travels to Southern Pride, which is the Southeastern regional competition, and then they travel to the national. So I was wondering, what is the spoken word scene like in Alaska, and have y'all had any representation on any of the national competitions?
Yes. I haven't been a part of none of those things, the national competitions. I know there's a youth organization. Goodness gracious, I can't think of the name of the organization now, but they used to compete on the national level. I think the thing that you want to ask for this question is not necessarily spoken word, but just poetry, period. Because here in Alaska, one of the things I find in Anchorage all the time is like quite a few people don't know the distinction between a poetry reading, an open mic, and a slam, right? So you put slam down on the program, Mahogany Magnetic comes ready, to tear the opponents apart, So I was like, you can't do that. You can't put slam on there. If you're having an open mic, let it be open mic where people share, but slam implies a contest. So there's only but a few contests, throughout the year. However, there's constantly readings taking place at places like the Writers Block Bookstore and Cafe, UAA campus bookstore. There's always readings and things carrying on. And I tend to be involved in just a lot of things. Wherever there's poetry at, Mahogany Magnetic is going to be there if she can. If not, she'll call in on the phone like she's doing now.
Wow, that's really powerful. Now, how do you do your marketing? Earlier, Robin and Linda and I were talking to Elizabeth, who's a new writer, writing about her experiences of flying in on the airlines and everything with her book, Dear Passenger. But how do you do your marketing? Like, what is your best way of getting the word out both nationally and locally about your word? So how do you do your own marketing? What marketing strategies do you use?
Well, other than like just being the person that I am and, branding, myself and being me 24/7, 365, regardless of what anybody thinks or feel, I think that's first and foremost. But I use a lot of different platforms. In terms of social media, I use Facebook, Instagram. I don't deal with Twitter because, it's really hard for me to talk in under, a sentence sometimes. So I was like, I don't bother with that too much. And I have my YouTube channels. Then I have a book, poetry that's on Amazon. And I put that stuff out there, but I don't I haven't really been pushing it in terms of, marketing to let, people know it's there. Because it's I have so much stuff I'm always doing. Even on my own website, I have my blog site, which is called Lifestyles of the Not So Rich and Shameless. So I use a lot of different things, but more importantly, it's human connection. When I see my friends or people I know or don't know, and I'm at the bus stop waiting, I say, "Yo, I wrote a poem. You want to hear it?" And they listen to it. I make sure it's real short stuff, to share with people. But I find doing that or whatever embeds me more into the community. And I think in this past year, my notoriety has definitely increased ever since I walked into the City Hall City Assembly meeting back in, was that March? Yeah, March. Yeah, beginning of March.
So I want to come to that. So I want to definitely hear that piece, even right now and everything, because one of the things that we have on the show regularly is activists of all sorts. We've had people that have been involved in the ICE struggle and trying to make sure that ICE is not doing the kind of terrorism that they've been doing to our Latin brothers, as well as people that have been involved with the Black Lives Matter and some of the other things. And I'm always very proud of those people that are not afraid to use their art to make statements, because I think that art can be a very important statement people. So I was just wondering, how did you decide to make this appearance in the legislature, and how did that all transpire? And then I definitely want to hear that poem that you gave those people. So if you just tell us a little bit of the story about how you decided to walk into this room, because Alaska also, I mean, we know that North Carolina has had its bathroom bill. We had a gentleman from Massachusetts, and they've got a bill that's on the table now that'll be voted on in November. But y'all have, I don't know, is the bill already passed, or is it a bill that's coming about? So tell us a little bit about that history and how you got involved in this struggle, and also that a little bit about that poem, and then share that poem, please.
Okay, well, I say that the initiative, proposal, Prop 1 proposal, when it was put on the ballot, like in summer of, this is 17, so summer of 16, when it was put on or something like that. Oh, I'm probably confused in terms of my years now. We're in 2018, so it was last summer of 17 that was put on there. And then, so I've been here since, like I said, 2012, and I've undergone quite a bit of discrimination, publicly being humiliated here in Anchorage, and some of the things I've been involved in, because I'm the type of person that I don't just sit back and take it. I speak out for myself and others. Been on, the news and television quite a few times or whatever, and the radio talking about this, that, and the third. But for a long time, I was one of very few people, doing anything until this Prop 1 thing came along, and then more people felt that their lives were in danger, in jeopardy. So we started organizing with the Fair Anchorage campaign and the ACLU here in town. And so last fall, when we really started having our little meetings and everything, I hadn't quite read Proposition 1 yet, the definition of what it meant. And so I did read. I was like, oh my goodness, this is an easy win. We can easily fix this, because they're saying that, in order to use the bathroom, everyone must have a birth certificate, like everyone. So for me, it was not like, this is not just a trans rights issue. This is a human rights issue when you say everyone has to have a birth certificate to pee and poop. So anyhow, I wrote this piece or whatever last fall and everything, and I told the group or whatever, during the time, I said, yo, maybe we should just go to the city, assembly. And folks like, well, no, Mahogany, nobody don't pay attention to that. I said, I know, exactly my point. No one's paying attention to it. But it's live on TV and everything, And so, March comes around and stuff. I said, man, I hadn't even submitted my little paperwork to be officially put on the record, but I knew at the end of that session, there's time for a community speak, and you only had 3 minutes. Well, I already performed the piece a couple of times. I knew it was exactly 3 minutes, and it was everything I needed to say on the subject matter. So I'll tell you the piece, and then I'll tell you finish the history of how it all worked out. So if only for a minute, let magnetic,
Yeah, go ahead. I want to hear the piece.
Okay. So if only for a minute, let magnetic drop and spin it. Now check out this predicament. Sally can find her birth certificate. In closets, bottom drawers are buried under papers, because haters got away with another caper. Now, Sally's a lady that naturally grows a beard. Folks give her a hard time, acting all kinds of weird. Standing outside the ladies' room, gender police not checking and just assume. All is good until they come across Sally. Sir, mister, hey, man, stop. Where's your ID? When the police turn his head, she rushes by instead to find an empty stall and do nothing once before the popo fires his taser gun. Now, Sally is squishing. All of her humanity is missing. So I like you don't care if you see some chaos, mayhem, or despair. Discriminated. Can't pee or poop anywhere. Without your birth certificate, it just ain't fair. Justice under threat everywhere. Anchorage, let's vote to stop injustice right here. Now take, for instance, the city's softball game. Supposedly everyone can play ball all the same. It's a good time. It's a joyous occasion. But the gender police can't take a vacation. The mayor's on the mound, winding up, but it all goes down. His stomach is bubbling. It's a tired crowd can see him struggling to get to the porta potty, but the gender police stopped him asking for his ID. Said he's acting like a witch. Told him to take a dump in a ditch. Now tell me, what's the mayor to do? Well, in this rhyme, he did number 2. All down his pants, they had to call hazmat. Probably wish you could take that vote back. So I like you don't care if the city's in chaos, mayhem, or despair. Discriminated. Can't pee or poop anywhere. Without your birth certificate, it just ain't fair. Justice under threat everywhere. Anchorage, let's vote to stop injustice right here. Now, out of 500,000 registered voters, I'd say maybe 10,000 in total care about trans rights and will stand up. The other 490K just don't give a fuss. So what's the fuss? Well, it's about justice and discrimination. If one group of people must present identification, a legal document that can't be laminated, what if somehow Pete gets on it and spray it? Then it's a question of all your private info. It's not like the identity thief is knocking on the door. Do we really want to be like North Kakalaki, a low-down, dirty shame, outright tacky, losing revenue, straight up no tourist attraction, giving haters and transphobics the satisfaction of being asinine and small-minded, an entire place where the citizens are blinded? Well, Prop 1 goes through with us strike number 3. I tell you, that's moving mahogany. I sure as hell ain't walking around with my birth certificate. If they pull me off the toilet, there's going to be some shit. So don't act like you don't care if the city's in chaos, mayhem, or despair. Discriminated. Can't pee or poop anywhere. Without your birth certificate, it just ain't fair. Justice under threat everywhere. Anchorage, we voted to stop injustice right here. So, yeah. so, yeah, that's the piece. And then from there on, I mean, it was just like, I was doing it like several times, throughout the course of the campaign. And then, more people in our community. And I think, when we look back, we won. We defeated Proposition 1. And it's an historical event, being that we're the first place to defeat an anti-transgender legislation bill of this sort, period. And so in looking back, it's like, well, how did y'all do it? How did Anchorage, make this happen? Well, what we did was we put our personal stories out there. We be the persons that we are, and we endured ourselves to the community. Because that's the issue when you talk about what transphobia is. It's a fear of other people. Well, the more we got out there, people began to see us and who we are and say, oh, my goodness, Mahogany, she's cool, she's crazy all outdoors, but she's good people, So the more we did things like that, I think that helped a lot in our campaign. And we just came together like as a group, as a community, and stood together, with one another, along with our friends and our allies and families. And we got to win, not just for us, but for the entire nation.
Yeah, definitely a win for the nation.
Story.
Yeah, a very powerful story, and definitely a win for the nation and everything. I definitely want to get all four of y'all on, and I'm so glad that I was able to get all four of you on, because y'all all have powerful stories. And that noise we heard earlier was our 10-minute mark. But before I get everybody off, I want to hear from everybody how people can hear you and reach you. So I'm going to start with Mahogany. Mahogany, if they're interested in finding you on Facebook or YouTube or wherever, how can they find you?
Just Google me. I'm the only Mahogany Magnetic on the planet.
Well, we would definitely continue out.
Mohagani. Yeah.
Go ahead and spell it again. Spell
Mohagani-Magnetek. So if you just Google me, you can find me somewhere, doing something between Facebook, Amazon, Instagram, Tumblr, all that stuff, and YouTube, of course.
Sounds great, and we will definitely continue these conversations, because definitely we believe in trying to encourage people to have unity and to fight against injustice. Elizabeth, how can folks find you and your book?
I'm on Amazon, so if you type in Dear Passenger, it should come up. Or if you put it on Facebook, I'm the Elizabeth Caldwell. My last name does not have a D in it. It's Calwell. But if you order it on Amazon, it pops up.
Well, we definitely appreciate it. I'm definitely planning to order the book as well. I'm glad that you were able to be on the show. You have some amazing humorous stories, and I have to have you back on to even share some more, because I'm still getting over the fact that somebody's trying to smuggle a peacock on board. Robin, how do folks get in touch with you?
They can go to my website, which is robinmcarroll.com. So it's ROBINMCARROLL. And on my website, I have links to all my social media pages and also links to all the places people can buy my book.
All right. And Linda, how can the folks find you and your wonderful music? I know folks are going to want to find about Paper Moon and some of the other things that you got going on. I probably mispronounced the title of the song, but you'll correct me if I'm wrong.
That's okay. So the best way probably is to go to lindacullen.com. That's Linda with a Y, LYNDACULLEN. Or I'm also on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or or all of those social media thingies.
All right.